He's an American film icon who directed the cult classic films Pink Flamingos, Hairspray, and Crybaby, John Waters. He was President Obama's chief campaign strategist, CNN senior political correspondent David Axelrod, and the former Republican congressman from Colorado, Ken Buck. Okay, gentlemen, these are the questions from the people. People. Do you anticipate that the protests outside the DNC convention will be disruptive in Chicago as they were in 1968? Do you remember 68 Chicago?
Oh, yeah, the days of rage. It was fun.
Was it?
You got laid at riots then.
I don't remember that.
You did, I do.
But I do remember, I mean, I was 12 years old in 1968 when that happened, and I remember I was the kind of in a political awakening. I wasn't really interested in politics before that, and suddenly it was on TV every night. It preempted Star Trek and all the other programming, the Democratic Convention, and there was cops beating up hippies in the streets. It was fun. It was,
Unless you were the hippie.
Yeah, unless you were the hippie, right.
They had fun, too.
But now, but this time it's going to be kids protesting against Genocide Joe. And they say that this could be the thing that kind of cracks the Democratic coalition. Yes, no?
I don't know if it'll crack the Democratic coalition, but I think there are a lot of folks, and not just kids who want to protest what's happening in Gaza, but people who want to screw over Joe Biden, who are going to throw logs on that fire, and not just people from the U.S., but logs from social media, Russian social media, Chinese social media, because if there is a chaotic scene in Chicago, that the Republican Party will undoubtedly lay that at the president's feet.
Don't you think the Republicans are going to have trouble at their convention too?
Well, I think that's a question.
Yeah.
I don't. You don't hear that as much.
Well,
you would think that
everybody's mad about everything.
No, but you know, look.
That's true. People just want to break shit.
Yeah,
in this country.
yeah.
But where's the Republican convention?
In Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's.
I mean, but you would think that abortion rights supporters might be a group, for example, that might protest at the Republican convention.
Yeah. Right.
But I think there's going to be an organized effort, and not just by young protesters, to create a bunch of chaos in Chicago.
This is for you, Ken. Do you have any faith that Congress will be able to regulate AI?
I think they'll do it as well as they regulated the internet.
Man, I'm relieved.
Yeah. Should they be? I mean, so that sounds like you're for more regulation of the internet? I'm asking.
Well, I'm for regulation of platforms that end up hurting kids.
Right.
I'm for...
we don't do that already? I think we do that. I mean,
well, we don't do it well enough because the suicide rate among kids, the body shaming among kids has dramatically gone up since some of these platforms have been doing what they're doing. And so we initially had good laws on the internet and then went to sleep. And these monopolies took over and have created a real problem.
I think, you know, you can ask Ken about this, but probably one of the most powerful lobbies, maybe the most powerful lobby on Capitol Hill, are the tech companies. And so it's very hard to get things done. But there's an additional problem that you should speak to, because you were right in the middle of this, and that is this stuff is moving so fast that technology is churning at such a rate that it's hard to get your arms around it in time to do anything about it. And, you know, government isn't all that agile. Now, the Europeans, I think, have been a little more agile than our government, and I think a lot of it has to do with the money that the tech platforms have spent to gum up the works.
Yeah, and the Unabomber was right.
Yeah, well, he did make some, he absolutely made some good points.
He was completely against AI.
Bad method, good manifesto.
Yeah.
Good
architecture, too. that cabin is one of the most famous architectural things ever.
Right.
I have the Unabomber birdhouse. They don't check out.
You should put it on your next Christmas card.
Yeah.
That's a great
But
Christmas.
AI, I mean, if I could see a picture of Barron Trump and Greta Thunberg at a Gay Against Guns rally, I'd be for it.
I feel like there could be a hologram of you that could go out and do your act on the road.
I wish they could. Steve Buscemi. Just draw on the mustache, put him out there. Yep.
They got you. Could get punched. Thoughts on Trump saying Elon Musk may serve in an advisory role if he wins a second term? What are your thoughts on Elon Musk?
I don't think about him that much. You know, of all the public figures, I don't know.
He's one of the most important people in the...
I know. But somehow I don't care. You know, it's just...
He's going to be one of the great, in the Trump world, he will be one of the great American oligarchs. He will have that kind of power. He's organizing some of the people in the financial community or in the business community for Trump. And his site has become more friendly. I think he's going to be powerful. I think Elon Musk is a genius at the things that he,
Yes.
engineering and so on.
Right.
I don't necessarily want him running the world.
Right. I would concur. How can Democrats regain their status as the party of the working class? Well, that assumes they've lost it. Have they lost it?
I don't think so. No.
David?
Well, here's my concern about my own party, which is it has become more and more of a kind of cosmopolitan, college-educated party. And so it still is advocating for working people, but there is a kind of, sometimes the party approaches people in rural communities, blue-collar workers, it's sort of like Margaret Mead, approaching the native, and it's like, we are here to help you become more like us.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
And,
Self-righteous, yeah.
Imperious.
And that disdain is felt, and I think that's one of the things that Trump exploits, although
Absolutely.
one would hardly call
Yes.
him a, product of the working class.
Right.
The issues that he picks, immigration drives
Yes.
down wages for the working class. China drives down, steals intellectual property, hurts the working class. So I think it's absolutely right. He has identified a void and is trying to fill that void. And I think that's what the split is. Obviously, unions are very pro-Democrat, but you've got this rising group of working class Americans who see the Republican Party as an answer.
I don't know. I drove across the country. There's still plenty of room for people. There's hundreds of thousands of miles of empty places.
Yeah.
So for anybody that wants to come to this country.
Yes, but it's, okay, this is the population argument that always comes up. It's not the space, it's
I know.
the resource.
Yeah, who wants to live there,
Well, that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
even
well, in some places.
even if you fill up North Dakota and
Yeah.
now there's 8 million people in the greater
Yeah.
Bismarck area.
Yeah. Well, I like North Dakota. I
Just drive around the
but-
country?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my arms around that.
Yeah, he hitchhiked across.
I did hitchhike across the country by myself when I was 70 years old. and wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
And it was exciting, Everybody I met, people that pick up hitchhikers are forgiving people. Something happened in their life and they want
Right.
to help somebody else.
Wow.
And I was never scared of anybody that picked me up. Not one gay person.
But they were scared of you.
Pussies.
Yeah.
Right. One trucker did. I never felt as gay as when I climbed up that side of that truck and got in. I tell you. But he was very nice and he was
bet.
great. Yeah.
And then did they recognize you? Or?
Some did. But one I said I was a filmmaker and he gave me $10. He thought I was just a almost crazy person. He thought I was a director. Yeah, here you go.
All right. Well, speaking of film, should straight actors be allowed to play gay actors, or is that cultural appropriation?
It's called acting.
Yeah. You're preaching to the choir.
Divine wanted to play the dog in Pink Flamingos. I mean, I think you should be able to play any part you want. I don't understand that.
That is very not. I mean, this apropos to our discussion about the left here and being imperious.
Gay people have been playing heteros for years, and nobody calls them brave.
Right. But this is the kind of thing. I mean, they made a ruling on high somewhere in the far left cloud that this is verboten, and everybody just goes along.
Is that true? I've not heard this.
Oh, are you kidding? There's a chapter in this. There's a chapter in this book about it, and I mean,
I actually knew that. I just wanted to give you a chance to hold the book up again.
I mean, I quote people like Tom Hanks, who played a gay in Philadelphia, and says,
yes.
"I wouldn't do it today. It was wrong."
Oh,
Really?
I don't. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boy, he was magnificent in that movie.
He was.
But it was wrong.
And he got it
says.
financed by him
Is that
starring
right?
in it. Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure.
So good for him.
Okay. But it's silly. I mean, all of that is
Well,
very...
give him absolution, will you?
Well, I don't need to. I think that everybody should be able to play anything. I mean,
Good.
I don't understand. You know, it's called acting. That's the thing. You become something you
Exactly.
aren't.
Exactly.
That's the whole point.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. Are all the moderates leaving Congress, Ken? What could be done to encourage some members to stay? I guess they have you in mind here.
Well, I'm not staying, but
I'm not sure you want to admit to being a moderate.
Right.
it's true.
Well, in today's Republican Party, I mean, the fact that you are...
He eats with a fork and knife.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you say you're not going to vote for Trump, not
Right,
the other guy either.
that actually is the barometer. If you're willing to
that-
stand up to Trump, that makes you a moderate.
That's where I mean...
He also works with Democrats on
But-
issues that he cares about, and that makes you suspect in the eyes of some, which is a real tragedy for the country.
But don't you think if the Republicans, a moderate African-American man, they'd win?
If the Republicans,
You mean like Tim Scott?
Or no, but somebody that, you know, isn't so crazy on either side, but they'd win.
I don't know if you've been paying attention, John, but Crazy's doing pretty well over on that side.
I know it is. But is it going to win?
Bill, these guys just appropriated my question.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your time. And thank you. Okay.